Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this from. This is my final season review, and it is for the National League. Reacting to my season predictions, as you see on my screen there, they are my season predictions. So, let's get straight into it. Starting off with the champions, I got that spot on. I went for Barnet to win the league. I was a bit iffy on it at the start because I felt with that playoff performance from last season tossed Barnet, but I was like, not really, because if anything, it'll did them a kick up the backside, which it did. They've been dominant, haven't they? They've been dominant probably throughout the whole season, Barnet, under Dean Brennan. Great to see them back in the EFL as well. A very historic EFL club, Barnet, as well. The only concern I had was how would they react to that playoff performance after they were well beaten in the playoffs last season as well. But they responded well, and I touched upon them being champions. They were one of the favourites at the start as well, especially with the window they had as well. Hartson in midfield, Collins as well, Stead being important players, important spine for Barnet as well. And that's why I put them champions. And Dean Brennan doesn't mess about as manager as well. Says it how it is, which is what I like. So, yeah, well-deserved champions, dominant champions for me. In second place, I went for Oldham. They ended up finishing in fifth place. I did put Oldham to be playoff runners-up, but they ended up winning the playoffs from last season, so Oldham. That's a big club right there, isn't it? That's a massive club. That shouldn't be in the National League. Oldham Athletic. Back in the EFL. Great to see them back in the EFL. Mickey Mouse, 100% record at Wembley. MPL finals continue. But I'll tell you what a final it was. It was looking like Southend were going to win that final after doing 2-1 up in extra time. And then Oldham scored 2 goals in 1 minute. Scored 2 goals in 1 minute to turn it around. This is what I'm saying about the National League. So underrated, man. So underrated. It's chaos. Chaotic games as well. Just when you think you're safe at 2-1, the next minute, you're 3-2 down. It's just chaos in National League. But yeah, Oldham Athletic. I went for them to finish in second because I just thought they had the squad. They had a good squad. Giordano up front. What phase is he in, people? Carlisle United striker now in the league above. What phase is he in? And he's been important, hasn't he, Giordano? His experience helping Oldham to add themselves to promotion as well. Back to the EFL. It's going to be important in League 2 as well, Giordano, trust me. It's big for Oldham, wasn't it? It was massive to get promoted. Obviously, Oldham would have replaced the players even if they didn't get promoted, but obviously, with my team, Carlisle, in the National League, if Oldham didn't get promoted, we'll probably go after one of Oldham's players, best players, to be fair. And Mickey Mahon was the right choice right from the start for me, with his experience as well. There was some concerns to say, did he still have it as a manager? But he definitely does. Got promoted to the EFL. Promoted back to the EFL and congratulations to Oldham as well. Got a brilliant squad as well. Oldham, Norwood, Dana, Fondop. They've all played a part. Mumphy at centre back. Wildman at centre back as well. Wildman at centre back. They've all played a part for Oldham this season. So fair play to them. Well deserved promotion for Oldham, winning the playoffs. But obviously I was one on that because I had them to finish in second and beat playoff runners up. Because next up, I predicted Forest Green to be playoff winners and to beat Oldham in the final at the start of the season. I was close to getting that final, wasn't I? But obviously Southend ended up beating Forest Green on on penalties. And Forest Green, I think it is kind of a failure of a season for Forest Green. Just with the mindset, the squad they've got as well. I think they'll be slightly disappointed not to get promoted, in my opinion, Forest Green. But it's a national league, it's a top league. And so always that debate, well, there should be 3-0 up. There should be 3-0 nothing in Aston League. Not really, in my opinion, because they know the rules. They know the rules. I know it's Hearts. That I think Notts County, was it Notts County that finished on over 100 points and still didn't win the title, or something like that, and still didn't win the title. Well, nothing funny. You got a second crack at it in terms of the playoffs. Sorry, that's just me though. I am Hearts. I actually don't have any sympathy for teams that miss out with ridiculous points tally, to be honest with you. Well, it's simple, isn't it? Don't drop points then, isn't it? Don't drop points. And take advantage of the team that does drop points. But yeah, Steve Cottrell, I still think he's the right man for Forest Green. And this is what I'm saying about Carlisle. We're in for a shock next season. Our fan base are in for a shock. If we think we're going to go straight back up to Year 2, there's not another thing coming, I'm telling you now. Because York don't improve, Forest Green don't improve, Southend don't improve, Hartlepool don't improve, Gateshead, whoever they get in as manager, I don't improve as well. So we're in for a shock, I'm telling you now. And I can see it coming as well. So, and this has been, I think Forest Green done me one of the favourites this season to go up. They definitely one of my favourites to go up. I done with probably York as well. The betting odds have made Carlisle favourite. Well, what a shock. But yes, for real, it's Bet50, and we all know who works for Bet50. Pretend wannabe expert, EFL expert. So he is going to say that. But yeah, Tal Matasa probably been Forest Green's best player as well. But yeah, I think they deserve to miss out in the Forest Green. It's still not something in that playoffs in them playoffs, which they can easily strengthen in the summer. So I was spot on with in terms of possession for Forest Green, just wasn't spot on in terms of them winning the playoffs. In fourth place, I got this spot on as well. Rochdale, Jim McNulty, knows the club. He played for the club as well. That's the only worry for me with him being Rochdale manager. Like he made that 3 parts every time because he used to play for the club. I don't think he should be getting 3 parts in my opinion. Next season, I think he needs to. It's a tough year though. This is the thing. It's a tough year, but next season they would expect better from Jim McNulty. And if he doesn't, if he doesn't do the same as this season or better, then he could potentially get sacked for me. Beckworth, the Rochdale left back, I wouldn't be shocked to see him go towards Carlisle. To be honest with you, I would take him in a heartbeat, being the best left back in the league this season. But yeah, Rochdale, I think they'll be getting better. Another team, they'll get stronger in the summer transfer window as well. And but yeah, I think that this is where I probably expect Rochdale to be next season as well. Probably a then chance for the playoffs. In my opinion. In fifth place, I went for Hartlepool. They end up in some mid-table and they haven't placed. It's all about getting the right appointment for Hartlepool, isn't it? All about getting the right appointment for them. They've been having some problems at the top of the football club as well, Hartlepool. But they're another fucking big club, man. Jeff Sterling, I think he ended up even, hasn't he? I think he's ended up even at Hartlepool. So yeah, it's a summer of change, isn't it? Summer of change for Hartlepool. Probably a team to watch for me. Because if they can get it right in the summer, they could be up there. They could be up there next season, Hartlepool. But they need to get it right in the summer for me, because they didn't get it right this season, let's be real. In 6th place, I went for York. obviously they're one of the teams who have a massive budget in terms of National League. They end up finishing second. I did put York to finish in the playoff places. I did think I was why they wouldn't get promoted still. But I think next season is going to be the season for York for me, where they disappointed. I think they're another Barnet for me. No, when Barnet got well beaten in the playoffs, I think they'll kick on next season. And I think York, for me, probably are the favourites. Especially if they keep hold of Oi Pierce as well, the top scorer. I think they'll take that defeat in the playoffs on the chin and say to themselves, why we need to win the league next season then, because I think them missing out on the title had a bit of an effect on them in the playoffs. Plus, they played in the semi-finals as well. Yeah, they didn't play the game before. This is what I'm saying about National League playoffs. I would rather finish 4th to 7th because I would rather play more games personally, because it gives you that momentum and sharpness. While York and Forest Green were on the back foot in the semi-finals with not having any sharpness at all. Maybe they might change the playoffs up in the future in the National League, but this is what I'm saying. You don't get a second game either. You don't get a second yet to turn it around. This is why we're in for a shock, even when we're in the playoffs. Trust me, because if you don't turn up in the National League playoffs, you're out. You're out, mate. Because there's no second yet. It's all one tie, isn't it? And I like that. You know what? They should do that in the EFL for me. Should do that in the EFL. It doesn't matter who's at the home advantage. Because we've seen away teams win in the National League playoffs. So home advantage doesn't mean matter that much. So for me, in the EFL, they should be doing the same as the National League for me. Just have a 1 yet tie. Just have it as one tie in the playoffs. One tie in the semi-finals, one tie in the final. But then that might not work because all the teams would have had sharpness. But yeah, I'll still do it. I'll still do it regardless. Makes it more unpredictable as well. Because 4th to 7th, I've always got the advantage of playing a day more than the teams that finished 2nd and 3rd. This is why next season, people, you need to go for teams that. Obviously, I made that mistake and gone for teams that finish 2nd and 3rd. Obviously, it doesn't happen all the time that 4th to 7 wins it. 2nd and 3rd and sometimes win it. But this is why next season, whoever finishes 4th to 7th in my predictions, I'm going for one of them teams to win the playoffs. Because it's always bid playing the game before. It's always bid playing the game before the semi-final, yes, as well. But yeah, on to York. I think they'll be favourites next season. Massive budget. Worthing have a massive budget as well. York have done spend bid, in my opinion, and I think York, bit of an early spoiler, I think they're my favourites for the title next season. In my personal opinion, especially keeping their manager as well. I think that's bid for York as well. So, but yeah, up next on to Southend. I got Southend, for instance, 7th spot on, and they end up playing playoff runners up. Congratulations to them. Punch above the weight this season, Southend, especially under this new ownership. But they can do next season. They got that final experience now. Kevin Mayer, manager of the season for me. Set Southend in that position is absolutely a fantastic job from him. And a bit daunting for Southend, isn't it, to use the way they did in the playoff final, conceding 2 goals in 1 minute. Definitely not good enough for me. That's not good enough. I think they lost their heads after that. But they have still made themselves proud in that playoff campaign, Southend. They wouldn't have predicted this start of the season as well. And if they can keep all the key players and add to that, especially under this new ownership as well, We're 70 yards south end of dot. The final dot with a Tom Martin. Then Southend didn't be up there this season. This is what I'm saying about National League. There's only a lot of teams competing for that one automatic promotion plate. And the rest will be competing for the bloody playoffs as well. This is the thing about National League. I want it to stay the way it is, to be honest with you, personally. I don't want any 3 teams up and 3 teams down or whatever. I want it to stay as it is, because that's taking away the National League for me, how chaotic it is, that you can miss out on 100 points as well. So yeah, I want it to stay as it is, really. But I do think there will be probably a change to like the promotion where there's something, to be honest with you. I can see that happening, to be honest with you. Scott Morris being Southend's best player in terms of consistent performance throughout the whole season, best right back in the league as well. Corker's been good in midfield for Southend as well. Chapwoods as well, on the way to shout. So yeah, Southend, they'll do it then next season. Let's see what they can do in the transfer window for next season. But definitely ahead of schedule for me, Southend. But now that they're ahead of schedule, they're now probably under pressure now to maintain them high standards. So Southend in 7th. In 8th place, I went for Gateshead. For me, I don't think, even if they would have kept Wabaya, I don't think Gateshead would have went up, personally. I don't. Because I think Wabaya is another Mike Williamson for me. They will end up tossing Gateshead in the end. Mike Williamson has been in for the fraternity Gateshead in the summer. He just knows waiting, isn't it? He just knows waiting. Mike Williamson to beat Harlow in the playoff final. It's waiting. He just knows waiting, isn't it? But I wouldn't be shocked if Gateshead do that though. Get Mike Williamson back as coach, as the manager. Get Wabaya back as the sporting director as well. That's when it did work, didn't it, for Gateshead? That's when it did work. But yeah, let's see what Gateshead do in the summer. It depends on the manager as well. Depends on the manager. They'll probably get rid of the manager for me, who was part of Mike Williamson's staff at Harlow United. Or he'll probably chop down the wall at Gateshead while one of Mike Williamson or Bob Elliott come back as the manager. The problem is Rob Elliott, didn't he use 7-1 or something? Didn't he use 7-1 as Gateshead manager to someone? Can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Halifax actually. Yeah, I think it might have been Halifax. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. And that's a big, massive red flag already. If you use 7-1 when you're top of the league and you use 7-1 to what, a mid-table team at that point. Yeah, it's just not right, is it? It's just not right. Credoy is the FD said as well. Wouldn't shock me to see him at Harlow alongside Tom Whalen. They've not been the same day said since Tom Whalen left. I think that's a hell of a coincidence, isn't it? Since Tom Whalen left there said for once, they've not been the same team. They dropped off massively. I know it shouldn't rely on one player, but shows how important he was today, said, wasn't he, Tom Whalen, with his style of play. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Credoy team off with Tom Whalen at Harlow, to be honest with you. Decent midfielder, Credoy. Reed and Booty's a good midfielder as well. But yeah, let's not start wedding day said now, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think it'll be the same again next season for day said. Depends on the manager appointment as well. I think it'll be the same again. Probably chance for the playoff chances for me. In 9th place, I went for Yeovil. I was horribly wrong on that. They ended up finishing 18th. I just thought Mark Cooper has that experience in the National League. I thought he would get them up into the top half of the table. That was my reasoning. Ended up finishing 18th. Look, they weren't where they didn't get where they but I still expect Oval to have a better season next season, and we do under Mark Cooper. If he does stay on as manager, of course, in Oval. So next season, I do expect Norwell to be challenging from mid-table, and next season top half of the table. But yeah, from my start of season expectations, I think it's quite underachieving from Norwell personally. But that's just my opinion. In 10 PS, I went for Halifax. They end up finishing the pure PSs. Team underachieving, don't they? They keep punching above the weight, Halifax. They're always a team that always destined the pure PSs, don't they? I thought there would be pure chances, personally. That's why I put them in 10th. I thought the Oval would be pretty pure chances as well. But they have got rid of the manager hasn't yet Halifax, so we wonder how much of a pure that might be. I think they'll be fine, Halifax, because they replaced Pete Wild well. Now they don't replace Momentum well, in my opinion as well. They're a well-run club, Halifax. They're a well-run, stable club in the National League. Keep replacing their dud minds as well. So they'll definitely get a double replacement in Halifax, in my opinion. I would expect them to get a double replacement in, and to keep them stabilised in them pure chances and and being pure chances. And the 11th PS win for Solihull Mods. Not shocked by that, because one season they have a dud season, then the next season they just fall off, don't they? They dud one season, then they are bad the next season. This season, I predicted it right for once. I said they will drop off after being in the playoffs. And they end up finishing in 14th. I said 11th, same thing, mid-table. They lost Andy Wynn as well, which probably did cost home more. They lost Andy Wynn to Bowell. So it'd be interesting with them next season. I think Solihull Moors, I think they've had their chances now to try and get promoted out of the National League. They've reached 2 playoff finals now, not got promoted. I think Bromley, that was the one, wasn't it? Or was it Bromley they faced in the final? Solihull Moors, was it Bromley they faced in the final when Bromley went up? That was the one for me, I reckon, for Solihull Moors. That was the one where, obviously, the first playoff final, I think they played Twinsby, and Twinsby were well experienced. But Bromley, that was the one for me, where that was probably their best opportunity to go up. I think now they're probably going to be a mid-table team now in the National League, Solihull Moors. And yes, there's another opening up, in my opinion. So yeah, mid-table team for me, Solihull Moors now. In 12 PS, I went for Sutton United, got that spot on. Then I think they'll be mid-table team now this season. Well, next season as well. I think they'll be mid-table team. I think they had their time now in the EFL. They're doing incredibly well to go back up to the EFL, in my opinion. I think they massively overachieved getting promoted to the EFL as well, Sutton United. So yeah, probably don't be a stabilised club again now in the National League. Mid-table, that's probably where I expect them next season. In 13th place, I think this is a shock for me. AFC Pride, who ended up getting relegated. I thought they would do well under Chris Beats. Honestly, I thought they would do well under Chris Beats. Getting Tory Williams, Shaw Wiley, players he knows best. Nick Houghton would be done. We all know that. AFC Pride's best player, Nick Houghton. I won't be shocked to see Carl outdoor after Nick Houghton for me. I'll take him in the heartbeat in our midfield. Imagine him alongside Cam Williams in midfield. Wow, what a pretty midfield that would be. And another midfielder as well. But yeah, AFC Pride, they even had Sansaro up front, didn't they? And yeah, I'm quite shocked. AFC Pride out there, to be honest with you. I did expect better things from them this season. I think Chris Beats has been sacked as well. So be interested to see how they do next season. Now chop down the league now. But yeah, this has been about the National League. You do see these teams that were dated that you don't expect. And then 14 players, Tottenham and Redbridge. ended up getting where imagine them. Remember them in the EFL, Danton Redbridge. They've been stabilising the EFL in the non-league as well, in the national league. They got relegated as well. Again, I'm a bit shocked by that as well. I expected them to be like the mid-table area, personally. So they got relegated as well. It's a bit like Boreham Wood, isn't it? Like when they got relegated, obviously they now came back up, Boreham Wood, under the same manager that did get them relegated. So, yeah, another shock relegation for me. Will both of them bounce straight back up? I think they'll do well in their respective leagues, in my opinion. To be fair. But we'll wait and see if they come back up. 15 pace, Woking got that spot on. They're a hard team to predict because sometimes, some people did predict them to be like pure chances. I predict them to be more mid-table for me. I just didn't think they were good enough to be pure chances. I think they'll be more strong than this season to be pure chances. But it's a hard one with Woking. They can either be top half or either be bottom half. They're a hard team to predict, to be fair. Aldershot and City got that spot on. It's where I expect them to be at the start of the season, City. Because the National League is even more tougher next season. Even more tougher with Taro and Morecambe coming down. And the teams that are coming up as well. So I actually think Aldershot may drop down a few places, potentially as well. Potentially into where there's some battle for next season. They may be one of the teams looking over the shoulder. And 17 PS win for Altrincham. I was hoping won on that one. I knew they had Reading Lindy, who's now at Harlow, and that's Newby. But I felt Altrincham punched above the weight personally, finishing 9 PS. Did not expect that to start the season at all. I thought they would be top half, the bottom half of the table, Altrincham. But obviously, they don't use their players, aren't they, Altrincham, in this season? They will use their players. They've obviously lost the top goal scorer to Woods. I'm interested to see him play for Woods, to be fair. As Newby could be even as well. Wouldn't be shocked if it's to Woods as well. So yeah, Altrincham, this has been about Altrincham, they will use players, so that 17th position might come into play for me next season, to be honest with you, because they will use key players, in my opinion. So I do probably expect a drop off next season from Altrincham. I don't think they'll be relegated, but a drop off to the bottom half, in my opinion. In 18th place win for ETA, they end up finishing 13th. They always do well staying off, to be fair, don't they? They always do well staying off. They're always mid-table. They always mix it up between mid-table and bottom half of ETA. That's the sort of team they are. Stabilised club in the National League, ET as well. Having 13 PS, a good season for them. And I think they'll be a stabilised club for them next season. In 19 PS, I got this spot on Boston United. A point in Graham Tottenham as well. End up a point for Graham Tottenham. I will admit, I did make a yet change to this. I did make yet change the prediction on Boston United. I did have them down. But when Graham Tottenham came in, I was like, I did change it and did put them to stay up, in my opinion. Actually, that's a word of it. I did put them to stay up anyways, Boston United, because they got promoted. When teams that you promoted to the National League, they do tend to stay up and thrive from it because they are unpredictable. So yeah, I'm glad I put Boston United to finish 19th and I got that spot on. And I think next season, Graham Tottenham's the right manager at Boston United. He'll be the right manager for them. And then I think he'll stabilise Boston United next season as well. In 20th place, I went for Wellstone, survived by the skin in their teeth for me. And I think they're in big trouble next season. I think they're definitely one of the favourites to go down next season. Along with probably Braintree as well. Braintree, who I put in 21st, who I did put that where they said end up surviving. But for me, I think they will be one of the favourites to door down, along with Millstone as well. Maidenhead, I got that spot on. Despite the money they got from the selling clause money from the Tillman deal, which done to West Ham. Despite having Toby Shaw-Silva up front, I felt you can't just rely on him all the time. And yeah, deservedly got there to Maidenhead. Be interested to see if they come back up next season. Tamworth, horribly won on Tamworth, wasn't that? One of the most one of the teams that overachieved massively this season, Tamworth, in my opinion. Ended up finishing 10th place, top half the table. What a season for them. But again, I do think that 23rd place may come to appear next season for me, to be honest with you. I don't think they'll door down, but I think they'll be in a way decent battle next season. I think they'll be a drop off from this season. They'll be more found out next season, in my opinion. And finally, Edsby, pretty much second season syndrome for me. They found out massively. That's why it was for me. Second season syndrome, expecting to finish bottom, and they did finish bottom. And end up getting relegated. So that is my National League season review. And we're to my season predictions. Feel free to leave your starting season predictions down below for the National League this season. What were your starting season predictions down below in the comments? And yeah, and that is the end now of all my season reviews. When I'll next be back for all the leagues will be my season predictions in summer at the end of July, start of August. So stay tuned for that. Feel free to leave your thoughts down below on the National League season down below in the comments. And what were your start season predictions down below in the comments? I've been intrigued to know. Take care.